Kevin. Hello there. Kevin, remind me of age and where you're tuning in from. I think, Kevin, I sent you a recording. I think I remember it was you. I sent you a couple of recordings, right? Voice recording. And you are from Philippines, are you? I think. Am I remembered right? All right. The one I gave you shit because you didn't respond fast enough. I remember. Hope all is well. No worries, no worries. You just gave me a scare, and I was concerned and worried about you. The way your email was very urgent and very serious and very sad, and I was just hoping to reach you quickly. So I made effort to respond right away, and then I didn't hear back from you, so I got pissed. I said, well, and then why do they make me worry then if it's not that critical? I'm glad you're okay, and hopefully all is well. Yogi. Hello, Mehran. I live in North. Yeah, Yogi, you did mention that last time, didn't you? And you said, where in North Vancouver are you? You're very close. Kevin says, I'm still recovering. Good. Recovering is good. Recovering means you're going forward. That's good. It's been a month and I still can't forget about it. Yeah, it's okay. It could be a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year. It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to forget about them. You're supposed to understand that it's not good for you and you got to go forward. Yeah, I think she was a nurse and some doctor was hitting on her or something like that. Am I right? Am I remembering it right? And I told you that if someone does that, that means she's not qualified for you. Don't waste your time on them. You're the one who disqualifies them, not them disqualifying you by moving on and not being faithful to the relationship. So you simply disqualify them and consider them not worthy of your time and plans to be part of your plans. Have a confidence and a value, worth and value for yourself, and don't let the pleasure from your desire set a qualification of someone by default or set your values. Do not think that you have something less just because you desire something and you want something from that person. You should control your desire for pleasure based on, first, if that person from whom you seek pleasure is worthy and qualified for you to consider them a place where you would want to focus on. So hopefully you have focused and pondered on these things, and don't even care about what she's becoming a doctor or not. Who cares? There's so many doctors and lawyers who are assholes. Knowing how to do something very well or being good at something that you do does not make you a good person. You just make you a person who knows something very well. Could be a pilot, could be a doctor, could be a lawyer, could be an engineer, but that means nothing. That means they're good at their profession. So what? But are they good as being a good human being? Someone that you can count on, have a relationship, and basically be able to trust them? Well, that is two different things. So, Kevin says, yes, she's an incoming doctor, and a doctor took her away from me, sadly. No. Don't blame it on that doctor. That doctor is a man, and obviously is also programmed to see some, suitable thing or a woman that he wants to pursue, he has the same program that you have. It's not his fault. Men do hit on women, and they try their luck, and they try to impress the woman, and they try to bring her attention to themselves, and that's how they're programmed. So it's not that this person has done something out of the ordinary. No, that's what he's programmed to do. It is up to the woman who would decide to be faithful to her boyfriend, husband, or the relationship that she's in, or not. Because all men going to, at one time or another, given the situation is cordial and suitable and legal age, they're going to pursue the woman. So, but it is the woman who can choose to shun them off and shoo them off, or be open to other possibilities while in a relationship. So don't be bitter about that man. Simply understand that this woman was not qualified to be your partner, and move on. Don't even look back. Don't even consider her as anything qualified. There are lots of women. Just because they're a woman, that doesn't make him a good person, a right match for you. So you have to understand that. Unfortunately, my brother has been in a motorcycle accident. Sorry to hear that. Last Sunday. That is why I have been going through a lot. Yes, I understand. During this tragedy, I'm longing for her care. Yeah, don't let your weakness at the time make you want to reach out to her, because she doesn't give a shit. If she did, she wouldn't have done what she's done. So don't even care about the fact that you're weak and going through a lot, and you even crave her more, because that's a place where you can forget your pain, and you seem to be asking for some pity. Don't. Get on with your life. Help your brother to get healed, and be a man that you are, and I know you are, and focus on building your life and find a good woman. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them around, especially in Philippines. Forget that hug. You don't want a hug from someone who's so shallow and self-centered and opportunists that forgets where she's coming from and staying loyal and faithful to the one who's been there for her. You're quite welcome. Focus on bringing bigger and better things to your life, and move on. And do not feel you need a pleasure from any entity who obviously is not qualified to be with you, faithful enough, serious enough, accountable enough, reliable enough, trustworthy enough. Therefore, what else is there for you to be convinced that she is not qualified by you? She is disqualified by your standards. And Yogi says, do you know any good Korean food restaurant in Vancouver? Actually, no, I don't. Because there is one restaurant that is close by, but I've never been there. But apparently it's nice. They serve the Japanese shabu shabu, which I think Korean is something else, but I don't know the name of it in Korean. So I've had that in Japan, which it's the hot samovar looking thing they bring in. You put the meat and vegetable in it and cooks right in front of you on your table. And there is a Korean restaurant, I think it's Korean, right here in Park Royal, beside beside, close to Shoppers Drug Mart here in Park Royal. There's a French cafe, and right beside it, it's called I think it's called Hot Pot, Legendary Hot Pot, in West Vancouver, in Park Royal. I think that's a Korean restaurant, but otherwise I don't have much. Once I had my Korean friends invited me to this restaurant downtown, and that was similar, but that you would pick whatever you want from the buffet thingy, bring it to your table, and then the hot steamy thing in container on your table, then you would cook it right there. So I think it's similar, but this one may be a little bit different setup. Kevin says, that is why every time I miss her, I watch her videos. Good. And I also recommended it to my friends. Good, thank you. I told them that your channel is not only about breakups, but mostly about life. Yes, it's true. Because all what you're hearing on these 1,500 videos and more, they are actually based on 500 videos or 400 videos, or a bunch of 100 videos that I have on the playlist called the Psyche, which discusses thoughts, where did they come from, consciousness, how is that born and put together, what is thinking, what is thought, what is the relationship between consciousness and thoughts, how about ego, desire, fear, pleasure. Discussions about these are actually talking about the fragments of our psyche and how our lives are fragmented. And then we use that in order to help ourselves to move on from situations such as breakups and relationships, and to understand why we feel the way we do, act and react the way we do after a breakup. So really the topic of breakup is a trick to introduce you guys to yourselves, to your own psyche, and help you to become the mechanic of your own machine, so you will not be so devastated every time something of this sort happens to you. Excalibur says, hello Mehran. Hello Excalibur. Says, must be late there. I hope you're doing very well, dear. Thank you very much, Excalibur. We haven't seen you for a while, no? And did you tell Mama Dadbeh that we said hello? I tell you the truth, I forgot. But tomorrow I will plan on visiting her, and I will try to remember for sure. And thank you very much for your kindness and kind words, and appreciate thinking about my mother. And Excalibur says, yeah, the damn notification made me miss a few sessions. Yeah, I wonder why this notification doesn't work. Honestly, it's kind of disappointing. And I knew you forgot, but I also knew you won't forget this time. Yes, that's right. I won't. Yeah, I just started up just about a few minutes. I mean, it's about 10 minutes, I guess, but it took 6 minutes for people to find me tonight. It's, I guess, I thought it's cozy night. It's pretty cold out there, hence my jacket. But I'm getting warm. I'll probably have to take it off. Says, when it's late there, it's so relaxing to hear you talk. Wow, thank you. Thank you. The background, wind and cars passing by. Yes, 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 yes. My window is open, and there's a little bit of a sound of the, I guess, moving traffic, but there's not much traffic. Very quiet. And Excalibur says, top quality asthma. Yes. Yeah, well, you know, I don't care why they want to watch the video, as long as they watch it. That would, and subscribe, that would be good. And he says, in the daytime it's definitely more rowdy. Yeah, it is. It's quiet here right now. I actually got some accessories to turn my SLR2 camera to remote, which I pair them, but I can't get them working. I don't know why. And I got special cable from the camera to the laptop to turn my camera into the capturing main camera for the live streaming to have a very good resolution. I couldn't because the computers that I have, their core is i5, but it should be i5 4 and plus. So I guess that wouldn't work. I spent a bit of a time figuring it out, but unfortunately disappointing. And he says, Excalibur says, where is everyone? Yeah, I guess everyone is just busy with their Sunday morning stuff, because in most places in Europe right now it's about, yeah, it is Sunday morning. And Azalea Honey says, are you taking questions? Of course, Azalea, but remember the protocol. Is it your first time here, dear? We need to know gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Just a 3 little abbreviation, like M for male, F for female, and age, and then where you're tuning in from. That would help me out. Excalibur says, oh, that's nice. Tech is always nice. Yeah, but it didn't work. Excalibur says, yeah, 7:41 a.m. Europe. Everyone must be either having breakfast or washing their faces. Well, in 7:41 Sunday, I guess maybe they're still sleeping. Nathan Lee says, thank you so much for your videos. Nathan, you're familiar, your name is familiar, but remember gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. 3 little abbreviation. Gender, where you're tuning in from, age and where you're tuning from. And he says, thank you so much for your videos. It truly has helped when I found out my now ex-girlfriend cheated. It has been a struggle, but your videos really helped put things in perspective and have helped. I'm delighted to hear that, Nathan. Nathan says, male, 1:42 a.m. USA. Nathan, USA is a big place. Where in USA? Help us to tune in or fine-tune it to know what my demographics are and where I'm actually talking to. And Excalibur says, please remember to hit like and subscribe. Yes, guys, please do. That is very important for us. And Azalea Honey says, Vancouver, BC, Canada, female, 19. Yes, first time watching. Well, welcome, Azalea. You are welcome to ask questions, almost any questions. And we are here for that purpose. Usually we have our live talks on Friday 12 noon, Saturday 12 noon, and Sunday 11 or 12 noon. Unless something comes up and I have an appointment, I can't make it. But sometimes I also have night shows, night talk shows, so we can reach Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, India, and so on more conveniently. But nevertheless, we are here and we are more than happy to hear your questions. The questions could be anything to do with life, challenges of life, having to do with thoughts, consciousness, transient thoughts, fear, desire, ego, pleasure, mechanical process, order, material process. If you don't know the meaning of some of these words that I'm uttering, they're all explained in the videos, and they are fragments of our psyche, and explains and introduces the psyche to ourselves, to us, a little bit in more with more clarity and detail. And we also, the questions could be anything about breakups, relationships, and such emotional experiences as the ones we just named. So go ahead, by all means. send your question. Excalibur says, yeah, you know, guys, there's 6 of us here. Hopefully we have all subscribed. If you haven't, please do. It's not really costly. Cost 0. And if you guys didn't find your answers among the over 1,500 videos we have on this channel by simply typing in how you feel, what's on your thoughts after your breakup, or whatever it is that you feel on the search engine of my channel. If you haven't found a thing or two, a video or two, or 10 or 20 videos on the topic, on the subject that you're pondering on, then you can always go to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, make an appointment on consultation, talk with Mehran via Skype, and make an appointment, and I will double your appointment. In other words, you make an hour appointment, I'll double it to 2, and if you have a half an hour appointment, I'll give you another half an hour on the house. So you will have 1 hour to talk to me, and we will together explore and hash out what is concerning you on any of those topics that I named. Excalibur says, oh, someone from Vancouver. You have some locals in the house tonight, Mehran. Yeah, her name is Azalea Honey. And she was going to send us a question, but so far I haven't seen any. And we have Nathan from Austin, Texas. Ah, thank you, Nathan. Texas. Last time I was in Texas, it was in, was it Houston? Yeah, I was in Houston. I was in it was in 2007. 2007, September, I believe. That was hot. It was pretty hot. So, let's see. Either Azalea has left us or she's writing a book. Because when they ask, can I ask a question, and they disappear, it's either one of the two. Either they have left us, disconnected, or they're writing a longer question. Okay, this is getting warm here. And since we are Canadians, we can't take heat too well. So Excalibur says, if any question is allowed, I'd ask, how do you feel about the news, Mehran? Which news is that? They're always negative and propaganda. Oh, news in general. Should one avoid them? Yeah, in most part, if you can avoid the news, avoid it. But there are some things that you need to know. It could be about some hazards or some food poisoning or some health hazards in the country. So it is not bad to watch news, but perhaps you want to find your special channels that are more progressive and fair in their delivery, such as democracynow.org. Democracynow.org is a good news program. And I also like YTY or TYT, the Young Turks, on YouTube. They also have good programs on their news, and they're not biased. Neither are these two that I mentioned are biased, or they're very fair in their assessment, and I like the way they are conducting themselves and informing people of political views and the news of the world, and that's good. So well, the news in general is, in most mainstream media, is not balanced. It's always depending on, the politics that is being promoted by that channel, and they all have certain kind of a agenda or idea, the way they express themselves or report the news. They look at it from the angle that it suits them or serves their purpose. The fair broadcasting systems that so far I have noticed is democracynow.org and the Young Turks on YouTube. And democracynow.org has got their own site, and they've been around for a long time. Yeah. Excalibur said, Azalea must be writing all of the Socrates teachings. Azalea is disappeared. Oh, there she is. And Excalibur says, yeah, exactly. Biased news everywhere lately, low. So Azalea says, so my question is kind of long. Yeah, we knew that. We guessed that. You know, we've been around the block a few times. We knew the one who says, can I ask a question? And then the question doesn't come for the next 10 minutes. She's writing an essay. That's not a question. That's a cheat sheet. So let's read it anyhow. We're not too busy tonight. It's a very informal gathering. Usually we're quite busy from around the world, but looks like when it's nighttime in Vancouver, the whole world is sleeping. No, don't be sorry, Azalea. We're just pulling your legs. We're just having fun. And of course, you can write as much as you want. I just don't have to answer it. So if it's too long, I'll just say, okay, next. But but you can write any question as long as you want. Not a problem. So let me have a sip of tea. This is a wonderful tea. Again, I found it today. I had run out. Chamomile tea from Taylor's from UK of Harrogate. It's an excellent chamomile tea. It's my favorite. I should contact them and tell them, listen, I'm pushing your tea. You better support our channel. Somebody should. So anyhow, Azalea, first tell me, have you subscribed or not? What's going on here? What's the deal here? Have you clicked on like and subscribed, or are you waiting to see what my answer is? No, we get paid first. So bloody well, push that subscribing button. If you haven't yet, especially that you confessed that it is your first time. So I want to see that button pushed, and I would appreciate that greatly, of course. Thank you. And Excalibur says, chamomile tea ranks as high as horses and Aston Martin in Mehran's list of loved things. Yes, you're absolutely right, Excalibur. All right, let's talk, let's attend to what Azalea says. Azalea says, so my question is kind of long. I just found out today that my ex-boyfriend is having a child with his new girlfriend. Well, it's an ex-boyfriend anyhow. It's not like he's going out with you and having a child and didn't tell you. So the ex-boyfriend is having a child with the new girlfriend of 1 year. That doesn't bother me a bit. It shouldn't. It shouldn't, because obviously it's an ex-boyfriend, and people, when they become ex, when they break up, they either find another relationship out of necessity, out of desperateness or disparity, or out of need, or out of simply wanting to move on, or just genuinely they hit it off with someone else. So, and she continues, that doesn't bother me a bit, but I have a child with him. Oh, now this is getting juicy, guys. Put your ears to the speaker. I have a child with him from 3 years ago. Okay, so this guy is just running around and with no responsibility and does what he does, and moves on. Azalea says that he has never even met her. Does he know that he has a child with you? Did you ever tell the guy? Obviously you have, because if you have a child from 3 years ago with him, and a year ago you broke up with him and he found another girlfriend, I think that's what I'm assuming this is the story is, the time spans or time frames are. So she says that he has never met, never asked about, no child support, nothing. Well, not everybody is responsible to offer what they're supposed to do, what the right thing is. You're supposed to pursue it. Aren't you supposed to go and figure out and use the law? You know how it is here in Vancouver. There are strict laws and you can rely on them, and they will get the guy to pay the alimony or pay the child support. It's been getting to me all day that the fact that he can move on with his life now, having a child with someone new and not acknowledging his own child with me, is pretty awful, especially to our son. I have moved on and have been with a wonderful guy for 3 years now, and he is a great father to my son. Well, that's commendable. That's great. Good for the new guy. But you obviously can simply go to the authorities, and he would be bound to pay child support. I believe that's the right. I believe I'm right, but you can always check with your lawyer or social services and figure out what the deal is here. He does know. So what about your responsibility to your child to provide for him if you don't have enough? Well, you're entitled to get a child support, aren't you? Isn't that what the law is here? Perhaps it would be a good idea to check with the lawyer or social services and figure out what your rights are. Now, I was looking for a question, Azalea, but there is no question here. It's mostly information, right? I'm wondering where the question is. So, Azalea says, I don't want to ding him for what do you mean ding him for child support? Isn't it something that it is your right? Or you just have enough money and you just don't want to have anything to do with the guy and just want him out of your life and not have any kind of access or any kind of excuse to be around you? If that's the case, well, I understand that. And she says, I don't think money is important, but time is more important. What do you mean time is more important? Either you have money and you don't care about receiving any child support from a guy that you don't want to see and you don't want to have around, and you're happy with your new guy and he's good to your son and you trust him, therefore, and he's responsible and decent guy that is mindful of how to be a protector of a child and make sure that he's interacting with the child properly. So if that is the case, then why would you even question that you want the guy? Why would you even question that the guy is not paying a child support? So he's an asshole. So that's the maximum that you can think of. What else is there that you want? If you don't want him around, which obviously you don't because you're having a happy relationship with your new guy, and as you say, he's good to your son, And if you don't need the money, therefore, what needs would you have for this guy to even feel, I don't know, responsible of some kind? What do you want him to do? I mean, you don't want him around, obviously, and you don't need his money, so why would you even have this concern that you think there needs to be an answer to this? And says, time is more important, she says. I'd like him to spend time and get to know him. Ah, I see. Why? You're happy with the new guy. You don't like the old guy. The old guy is gone and got a child with another girl. And he doesn't care, apparently. He knows that he has a son, and he doesn't care, apparently, about that. So why the hell would you even want him to be around your kid? If he doesn't have enough understanding that this is his son and he has some responsibility or some emotional attachment, and if he doesn't feel any of that, why would you want to train him to have that kind of emotional attachment when you already are happy with your new guy? Let your son grow up. Obviously, that guy, the biological father, is not responsible and doesn't care. So if he's not responsible and he doesn't care to come around and want to see how his son is turning out, that means he's not qualified to be around your son anyhow. Obviously, he has no interest. So why should you introduce that interest or put that kind of a responsibility on his shoulder when you know he's not responsible and he has all the freedom to come around, I guess, and to say that he wants to interact with the son? So you gotta answer this question to yourself. Why is it that this is a question for you? The guy's not responsible. He's gone and made another girl pregnant, and he's got a child with another girl. He knows that he has a son, but doesn't care to come around. He doesn't ask for him. But yet you don't want his money. He doesn't even offered it. But why would you think he's qualified to be in your son's life anyhow? By the way, you didn't give me your age, did you? And his age, and your new guy's age. These are all some info. Did you? Maybe you did give me the age. Yeah, 19. Oh, I see. Very young. Very young. And I guess he's probably what, 20, 22? Azalea says, my question is, should I contact him and try to get him involved in our son's life for our son's sake? Your son at the moment doesn't know. And if the guy is a loser, that he's not going to be stable or responsible enough or mature enough to come around your son on a regular basis and spend time for the rest of his life, so he's going to be probably causing more damage than anything, coming back and forth. If the guy is 22, as I mentioned, and the stepdad is 21. Obviously, the stepdad, 21, loves you and is more responsible and cares about you enough to want to be something of positive role model to your son. Hopefully, the stepdad is not into any weird thing like drugs or alcohol and things like that. And hopefully he's got a good head on his shoulder and he's, I don't know, studies or has a job or some responsible lifestyle, which these are your duties to make sure you're mindful of it. The people who come around your son must have certain strict qualifications, which means they got to be scrutinized by you carefully. What kind of lifestyle they have? Are they clean? Are they healthy? What kind of behavior they have, mentally and physically healthy? Are they qualified to be around your son? You have to always supervise them to make sure that they are of good caliber. And obviously you say that this 21-year-old is of good character. So you must still make sure that the people who come around your son are of good quality and good uh, uh, intentions. The 22-year-old dad, who's obviously not mature enough to know his responsibilities and limits of his responsibilities, might as well not show up, because it's up to him. If he wants to, you're open to it. He hasn't made any effort for the past 3 years. What makes you think that that means the guy was what, 19 and you were 16? Holy macaroni. I'm going to pull your ear as well. So you haven't been so responsible yourself at that age. What happened to mom and dad? Were they not around to read some few good words into your ears and guide you a little bit to make sure that you won't be in such a predicament that you are right now? Whether they were or not, that's beside the point. But at the moment, you are the one that that child is looking up to. You are responsible for his protection. So you're responsible to make sure that you have a good screening system. Who comes around him, who plays with him, who doesn't, who should, who's qualified, who's not. Do not trust just because somebody is nice to you. That doesn't mean you can trust and leave the kid alone with them. You have to know them very well. You have to trust them very well. And you must consider all the aspects of protecting a child. It's all your responsibility. You cannot leave your child with someone and later on, God forbid, something happens that they're not good custodians and whatever forbidden things happens. Then you cannot say, oh, it wasn't me, it was no. It's always you. You call the shots. You're the mother. You're the boss here. You protect him with your life. That's your role. The love of your life. That's child. That child has no guilt in anything. He's been brought to this life, and there has to be a custodian. There has to be a guardian, protector. So therefore, if the guy is irresponsible, no need to have him around. If he asks for it in some other ages, you may arrange some kind of a visitation. Not legal, all up to you. You would hold the key, and make sure you have full custody right now. If the boy is not, if the father is not in the picture, you make sure you have all the legal forms filled out. You have full custody, and therefore later on, if the guy wants to come and see the son, he has to be under your supervision, and he cannot have any right to the kid, because obviously he relinquished that right when he bloody stepped away when the child was born. And he didn't make any effort to make any arrangement. Azali says no. Has a journeyman welder, has got a good job, and I'm studying to be a paramedic. Good for you. And she says agreed. I don't know what she's agreeing to, but I must have said something right. So, so Azalia, your name is got a Persian background, so I'm thinking you might have some affinity or some background in that neck of the wood, possibly. So there are 7 of us here, and we have had only one question. So looks like it's going to be a very private session. So take advantage, guys. Otherwise, for private sessions, you know it's going to cost you a bundle. So let's go. Azali says, thank you for your advice. I'm Norwegian. Ah, Norwegian. Interesting. Very nice, very nice. All right. Well, I'm delighted that you are taking good care of your son, and you are thinking it through, and always be on the guard for your son, and be mindful. You have a beautiful job of raising this child. It's an important job, a very sensitive job, and I'm sure you will adhere to it. You focus on it as best as you can, and not leaving anything out when you want to focus on how to best take care of your son, for his protection, for his upbringing, for his nutrition, for everything that you can do. And good for that 21-year-old boy who is handling the situation well, and obviously he loves you and he's there for you and your son, and kudos to him. Excalibur says, not private, I'm listening. Yeah, that's what I meant. Private means just 7 or 8 people. That's what I meant. Of course I know you're listening. You're always listening. You're listening to everything. I know that. Excalibur. Excalibur, Azalea, honey, says, I'm working hard to be a great mother and provide for my son the best I can. Very good. And one of the ways that you can be a great mother, Azalea, is to read. Google things. Read them. Watch for the signs. He's crying, he's red, he's hot, he's this and that. Just read them and go take him to the doctor when you think. Don't let things linger. So, oh, he'll be fine. Just be like a hawk, especially while they're very little. As they grow, your responsibilities can go up and down depending on what age they are. But if you really love to be a mother, you will be a good one. If you are just trying to get by and hoping that he will be okay and raise them, then you're not doing a good job. And I feel that you are really into it, and I'm certain that you really want to do your best. Therefore, you will. And good for you. I'm proud of you that you're dealing with this very maturely and responsibly. Excalibur says, the Excalibur ear is always listening. I know Excalibur does, doesn't he? Emmanuel says, I'm here too. Where the hell have you been, Emmanuel? Boston, male, 27, Boston. See, I remember. And Excalibur is, you're in Spain, Excalibur, right? And what, 27? I forgot. See, you've been away for so long, I forgot. Pura Vida, Juanpa, male, 23, Costa Rica. Thank you for that. Excalibur says, oh, there we go. The familiar faces are pouring in. Yeah, they're coming in now. There we go. Excalibur says, yeah, I'm 24, Spain. I hit it right on the button. All right, I wonder, Sunday morning, this is Sunday morning, I guess most of our guys in Europe, they're sleeping. There is Donna from Australia. Says, hey everyone, love from Australia and love from here, Canada and everywhere else, to you as well, dear. Excalibur says, I didn't sleep yet. Pulled an all-nighter. Why? You were partying. What's an all-nighter for Saturday night to Sunday morning? What for? What are you gaining? Donna says, nah, Mehran, it's Sunday Arvo. Sunday Arvo? What is Arvo? Am I missing something? Kevin says, I wonder sometimes if universe will allow for us to meet in one place and thank Mehran personally. Well, I wish for that. It's not for thanking me. It's just so that we can all get together and perhaps have a workshop that I can share with you guys a lot more about your mind and the power of your mind and how you can strengthen your mind. Just as you go to the gym and strengthen your body, you can strengthen your mind. And I had an opportunity, as I mentioned, I think it was this morning, we had a live talk that I was invited for. It was a speaking engagement for a group of engineers in town here, and I decided to have 2 programs for that night, The first one would be mind and body coordination and power of mind, and our relationship between our energy and energy of the universe and mind and body coordination. And the second one, I was focusing and hoping that I would get to discuss matters of thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, and we go about the psyche. But we never got to the second part because the first part, it looked like the engineers mostly were disappointed that they couldn't have an answer, scientific answer to why the mind has such powers. And so it was more, their interest was, not all, some were very open and thankful and appreciative to learn this new thing, and they were in awe that how wonderful and amazing this is. But some were thinking that since they cannot understand it, therefore science cannot prove it, therefore that is not acceptable and perhaps rubbish. So they were trying to be challenging, and of course I was enjoying myself because I was, of course, knew that this thing is real. they just blew their mind away and they can't believe it, and they just want to be combative. So I had a great time in a way. Just had a smile on my face that why are these people so closed-minded? Galileo said Earth is round and they wanted to kill him and put him in jail. But because science couldn't prove it. Well, I told them, look, science cannot prove many things. It doesn't mean just because science can't prove it, then the thing doesn't exist. Can you see it with your own eyes or not? Can you feel it or not? Can you see this video that I'm showing to you, what I demonstrated in a university speaking engagement that I had a few years ago? What's the problem with you? And if you want to learn it, which they never actually asked, how can I do it? They were just combating it. No, can't be done. No, bring. I said, even a child can do it. And one of them said, bring that child. I'll lift him. I said, well, really? How important are you that I should bring your child for you to be proven? You whether want to accept it or not, it's up to you. You want to learn how powerful your mind is, then try to figure out, have an open mind and ask to be taught and to learn rather than that. So anyhow, that was an interesting one. So I would like to have an opportunity to travel around and have workshops in person so we can meet people and also share a lot more than we can do right here on YouTube. And so let's see. Excalibur says just couldn't sleep. Oh, okay. And Juanpa says, Mehran, what's your favorite movie? Star Wars. And James Bond when I was a kid with Sean Connery, the first one, or second one. And Donna says Arvo equals afternoon. She says, yeah, let's all meet. Okay. Juanpa says, Mehran, I'm an engineer and you have taught me more than a university. Well, my pleasure. I thank you for your kind words. Emmanuel says, Mehran, sometimes I think that the topic of consciousness and thoughts is like the chicken and the egg. Good question. It's hard to know which one was first. Well, it is covered, that this question, in the video that I have. It's called The Quality of Our Life, Controller and Controlled, Watcher and the Watched, Observer and the Observed. I think that's what it's called. But it is not difficult. It's an interesting topic. If you guys are interested, I can go through it. But if not, you can watch that movie, that video that I have, Watcher and the Watched, or Controller and Controlled. The Quality of Our Life, Controller and Controlled, something like that. Excalibur is one of my favorite activities when it rains ever is to listen to a random Mehran session while going for a relaxing car drive in the rain. Ah, okay. Be careful. My voice does put people to sleep, so you don't want to be driving and listening to my videos. Could be hazardous somewhat. It does put myself to sleep when I sometimes want to watch some of my own videos to remind myself of certain concepts, and I find myself that, okay, I'm gone. And I've heard that from many people, that somehow I do have that effect on people. Excalibur says, I bet with myself Mehran would say Star Wars. 007. You did, didn't you? I nailed the guess. Yes, you did. I discovered something that blew my mind in the deep ocean. The immortal jellyfish is the only known creature that is immortal. Really? That's interesting. I've been stung with a jellyfish, but I wonder if the immortality has been transferred to me as well. Who knows? Oop! I guess not. Okay. Good. Stop kidding around. Says, I discovered something that... Oh, we did. Okay. Donna says, Mehran, I need advice on my breakup. I found out I was the side chick. Side chick to a bloke I work with. I adored him. He told me he was single, and we dated for 14 weeks. What a weasel. But I guess that's what you wanted to hear. I mean, you don't mind because you liked the guy and he lied to you. But I guess you are now saying, well, good thing that he lied to you. Otherwise, you would have had to make a decision, and then you would have gone against your morale, and you would have still probably done the same thing, and you would have been feeling really guilty that you did something that you shouldn't have done. So maybe that lie got you what you wanted without the guilt. Excalibur says, so what's the question, Donna? The advice that you said you adored him. He told me he was single, and we dated for 14 weeks. So what's the question here? Excalibur says, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. It's 12:23 here, and I don't know. It's kind of cozy and cold and cool, and I've got a nice bright light here, and I guess putting me to sleep. Excalibur says, after it gets old or sick, it transforms back to its baby state and grows up again. Wow, absolutely amazing. How many times does it do that? Excalibur says, Mehran's voice and the rain guaranteed sleep. How I'm telling you, I have that effect on people. Excalibur says, there are so many species of jellyfish. Who knows, maybe the one that bit you was the immortal one. I hope to God that it was. But I don't want to be a baby anymore. Excalibur says, after that particular one gets old or sick, it can transform itself back to its baby state indefinitely, and therefore so is biologically immortal. Wow. I wonder if he remembers his experiences every time he goes into a baby stage. Does he remember his previous adult experiences? Or is it everything is experiencing new again? Is his memory gone or not? That would be a good research. After that particular one gets old. Oh, it's double time. Okay, double. No baby. Why? You said baby stage. Baby stage. Donna says, I need help with getting over him as I still adore him, although I haven't dated him since, and I reckon we have broken up. How do I get over the weasel? The fact that you focus on his character that wasn't straightforward, wasn't honest. He lies to get what he wants, and it just so happened at this time that you also liked him. Otherwise, if you weren't infatuated by the guy and you were just okay with it, and he would pursue you and lie to you, and then through manipulation would have a relationship with you, intimacy, then you would find out that he lied. You would have been really pissed off, which you should be right now. Rather than thinking that you adore the guy, you should at least feel like, what gives? What's going on here? This is stupid. And you should disqualify him because of his lack of manner, morals, and two-timing. If he had told you that he has a girlfriend and you would still be okay with it, that's a different story. If he had told you that there's another girl as well, and told that girl that is with you as well, well, then that's a different story. But if he pretended that, well then. And the way to get over it is simple. Just focus on who he is right now, what he has done, how he has treated you, and rather than focusing on the fact that you like the guy. Because what you're focusing right now is the image you have of the guy before you knew that he's two-timing you, that he's cheating on you, or cheating on the girlfriend that he had. And before you knew this, you had a different image of the guy, and you created that emotional bond with him based on looking at him and considering him as someone that you would have approved. And his behavior was not questionable, and his relationship was only exclusive with you. That is when you like the guy. Now that you know different about him, you're still perceiving this guy instead of looking at him and seeing him as who he is, what he has done, his actuality and truth of his behavior. You're still looking at him, but remembering him as he was before you knew the shit he pulled off. So in order for you to be able to move on, you need to see him for who he is, not the image you have of him before you knew what he's up to. And therefore, you will see him for who he is, and you will not approve of this behavior. Then you will not look at him with favorable eye. You will see him as someone who is unreliable, untrustable, a liar, a cheat, and therefore that should be enough for you to disqualify him. And I don't give a shit what makes you adore him, because none of these things could cause anybody to adore anybody. So I think that would give you a little bit of a insight of this. It says, no, if he had told me he had a Sheila, I wouldn't have touched it with a 10-foot pole. There you go. So therefore, you should, for that very reason, see him for who he is, not see him for who you thought he is before you know who he is. And then you disqualify him. That should be enough, because you're worth a lot more than that, and you have to value and respect yourself more than what others may value and respect you, to be a role model for them, to know how they should be treating you. But if you don't, and you be okay with these things, well, they will try to take advantage from you. And these are the weasels who really don't have any manners. They're just looking for some sex here and there, and that's just it. That's garbage. That's not a quality that you want to hope to build something with. All right. Unless you guys had an arrangement of that sort, which I know you didn't. So we go to Excalibur says the other creature capable of regeneration is the Hydra. Why is everything doubled, Excalibur? Like your comments are coming in double. Everything you say is 2 times here. Say, why does everything I type gets... Yeah, you just saw the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. And it says, I refreshed. Hopefully now I don't have a parrot in chat that says everything twice. Yeah, you don't now. It's fixed up now. Excalibur says, yes, the deep ocean is fascinating. More than 90% of it is unknown to us. And it has some mighty, terrifying creatures like the anglerfish and the viperfish, straight out of nightmares. Lol. Gee, I don't want to be there. Thank you. Emmanuel says, it's 3:27 a.m. here, and I'll need to go out. Can't sleep. You need to go out? It's 3:27, man. Where the heck are you going? It's Boston. It's not Disneyland. It's Boston. Order pizza. Don't go out. And Excalibur says, haha, your laugh killed me there. Why? No parrot anymore. Yeah, good. Donna says, Emmanuel, try a warm drink and lavender oil under your nose. You put a lavender oil under my nose, I'll be like Superman with kryptonite shown to him. I'll just be having no function. It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. My enemies may show up with lavender in the street. And Excalibur said, what will you do after this stream, Mehran? I probably will watch some Deep Space Nine, some, offshoot of Star Trek, and maybe have a protein bar I like with tea, and then I hit the sack. I sleep. Yeah, lavender hibernation. Excalibur says enemies showing up lavender. The mental image of that is cracking me up. It actually does crack me up myself. Yeah, it's true. Emmanuel says, I look like a grandpa. Thought, but thanks. Though, but thanks. Yeah, okay. Just imagine all the pissed off people at me showing up with lavender, trying to stick it on my nose. Okay. All right, have a tea. Let me do station identification. Taylor of Harrogate, Chamomile. And we got no sponsorship from them. We're doing it for free, like everything else here. Still tastes good. A little bit icy, but it's all right. Kevin says, because of going through this breakup, this is the only time I realize how powerful our mind is. It can change a lot about us, our present and reality. It really amazes. Yes, it is. We go through shit that we never thought we could. And how wonderful would it be to know how to train the mind, which is why I really would like to have some workshops in person for people around the world, if I can eventually get this channel provide enough financing to do that sort of stuff. That it would show and it would help people to know how to train their minds and strengthen that through exercises that is specific for that. At the same time, learn how to extend ki, which is like the Star Wars, force push and all that. Things that is actually, there are reality to it, but it's been used in Star Wars, and it's very interesting when I compare the two. And at the same time, help people to know how to strengthen their mind through meditation and all that. So, Excalibur says, as always, I love when you want to taste tea, but your laugh doesn't let you. You keep bringing the cup up and down, up and down until it finally lets you out. Yeah, you can. If you like that, you gotta watch. You gotta watch the seminar I had a few years back in the local university about the end of fear. It was 46 minutes. The end of fear, and I noticed in one part of it that I believe I have a. I watched it, I guess, the whole thing. There are shortcuts of it as well available on my channel, but I watched the whole length of it just a few days ago because sometimes I want to review the stuff that I have said in my speaking engagements, and it helps me to kind of ponder more about it. And there was this Perrier water that I had, and at one point I noticed I brought this up so many times, and every time I had something to say, and I bet you if somebody was noticing that, they would say, please drink the goddamn thing. And I because I was saying it myself. Yeah, it was quite funny actually. Emmanuel says, where's Olga, Mehran? Haven't seen her. Yeah, Olga is she hasn't shown up to the live streams, but I am in contact with her for the thumbnails, and she's I guess busy with other things, and hopefully she will have a chance to participate. I think she's busy with work and stuff like that. Excalibur says, is Mehran her last name? Oh, where's Olga Mehran? Yeah, I see what she's saying. Yeah, the two words came right after each other. Yeah, but you see, Lee, I understood it quite well, but you're the one making a fuss. And Corey Bear says, advice for pressure from parents and girlfriend to make money in a stable career instead of pursuing music. Before I answer that, Corey Bear, it's not your first time here, is it? Or if it is, or it's not, it doesn't make any difference. You still got to give us the protocol. Gender, age, where you're tuning in from. 3 things, like M for male, F for female, or whatever you signify, and then age, and where you're tuning in from, like which city, country, something. And then I will get to your question, of course. Excalibur says, you brought it up and down so many times, it was a subconscious bicep and arm workout. It was. Donna says, Corey Bear remind them of 4 blocks called John, Paul, Ringo, and George. I lost that one. Donna says, Corey Bear, remind them, so you know Corey Bear then, male 20 at Satsk. What is Satsk? Is it in Australia? Am I somehow lost in here? Corey, San Antonio, Texas. God damn it, what do you think? I'm a genius here? San Antonio, Texas. Satsk. Okay. All right. Yes, I know she's referring to Beatles, but Corey Bear, remind them of 4 blokes called John, Paul, Ringo, and George. Why? Where is the where is the reference? Corey got the anecdote. Good. I assume she meant that they'll change their mind about pressuring. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I see. Donna is responding to Corey about his question. Oh, I thought Donna is following my question to Corey about let us know gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. That's why I was lost. Yes, that's right. Corey, Donna is right. Tell him John, Paul, Ringo, and George. they might get the message. All right. Okay, so Corey's question is, oh, excuse me. Damn, what's going on tonight? Corey says, advice for pressure from parents and girlfriend to make money in a stable career instead of pushing music. Well, you know, most people, especially people who love you, they are suggesting what, based on what their fears are. If they were really good at music themselves, they would have not reacted to your decision or preferences this way. Because they're probably not advanced in music and they don't see a future in it for themselves, they wonder, how could he see a future? Because I can't see a future. And it's so tough and so difficult because music is so difficult for them. But the one who has a talent and can make, I don't know, good music, and obviously there could be a possibility of a record deal or something like that. But of course, also don't be so naive. It is very difficult to open up the market for yourself in that kind of a business. It could be feast and famine. It could be a long time before you get a deal of some kind, if ever. And yet, a steady job could be just bringing the food on the table, but never really anything more. And the music one maybe happens to hit the jackpot, but who knows if it will ever happen or not. So they both have pros and they both have cons. One is steady, kind of secure. The other one is free as far as lifestyle and could be very lucrative, or could not be lucrative but just put food on the table and nothing more. But the question is, where will you be in a few years in your mentality? Right now you might say, but I love it. I enjoy it. I love to go around and have gigs and here and there and make money today and make money the next day and so on. And I don't care if it's secure or not. And I'm all right with that. I will have experiences. I will meet people. I will travel. I'll put my guitar on my shoulder and I'll just get on the bus or get on the train and I'll go or travel to Europe and I'll just play wherever. And I'm sure I'll find the gigs. You know, these are things that goes through your mind. But then that is now. That is now that you're 20 years old. When you're 29 or 27, you say, what the freaking happened? I gotta constantly be on the bus, here and there, no home. I can't have a steady girlfriend. Girlfriends don't really want to be with someone who's having a risky life, and a job is not really, money is not really coming. I'm not coming home every night necessarily. I'm on the road, this and that, because I'm trying to make a name of myself, make ends meet, bring some dough, some money. I've tried all the gigs in this town. I'm maybe different for this town. Maybe they don't like me so much. Maybe I'm too good or not good enough for this town. So I got to go other towns. So that affects your personal life as well, stability as well. Steady food on the table, maybe not. Possibly interrupts that as well. Insecurity, yes, possibly. Anguish, obsession, being upset, disappointed, wondered, fearful, and anxious to get things rolling. Yeah, but then again, it could hit the jackpot. Who knows? My suggestion is to you pursue a regular job at least, and then have this going on the side. You can have your gigs on the weekend and make a name out of it. Maybe one of these musics hits the jackpot, you get a record deal, then you quit the damn job. But if until then, why can't we have both? You know, pursue a career and have this as your love. I believe in life it is always a good idea to have two things, two jobs. One for the money, that you're good at it and you make good money and you know ins and outs of it and you're an expert at it. And the other one for love, for something that you really like, you really enjoy doing, you appreciate it. I just noticed I'm keep watching it that direction, and I wondered why, because the camera is here. So I'm thinking the reason is because that light is hitting me, and the fact is I don't want to look there and think, because when I look in the far, my mind is not focusing on anything, it's just focusing on what I want to say. That is why, or you can imagine that there's an audience there and I'm just talking to them. So what do you think, Corby? Does that make sense, Corey Bear? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. Donna says, a female, 43, Melbourne. Donna, I think you're about 24-hour late in introducing yourself. I think it's the time difference between Melbourne and here. You think we are just a night before and you have lots of time to introduce yourself, because by the time we get who you are, it's morning Sunday, which is your Sunday morning. Therefore, to you, it's all the same. But no, you should have done that an hour ago. Anyhow, we appreciate it. Female, 43, Melbourne, Australia. Excalibur, are you on the same prisoner island, mate? What? What is that? Okay. Excalibur says, currently in Spain. Okay, you guys are talking to each other, right? Chris Aubrey says, hello, Mehran. Hello, Chris. Male 40 UK. I'm struggling again today with not having a baby with my ex. Oh, come on now. No. You know, you would have had 4 kids then, if I remember it right. 4 kids, and obviously you're the one that you have now probably would have ended up being with the other 3, with the grandma. Because if she was any of such good mother, she would have been attending to the kids. But she simply, as you said, was always with you in a different house, and the kids were with the grandma, and you know, you were paying the rent. Come on now. Get your head out of where it is right now. Focus on your life, and don't limit your opportunities in life to one relationship or one woman. It just so happens you haven't replaced her with anyone. You don't have any other relationship in mind right now, and you think it's more convenient to crawl back and, you know, to get that same situation instead of finding a challenge. You're 40 years old. You're very young. There are many young women in their late 20s and early 30s who are looking to have a 40-year-old man who they feel he has made some advancements in career and has got some stability, and therefore if you play it right and treat yourself right and have a calm mind and focused mind on building your life, you will have enough qualities to attract good, decent girls to build a new life. And you will see that it would have been a much better decision than having another baby with this one who has already got 3 from someone else, and you would have ended up having 4 kids, and putting food in their mouth is not that easy, number one. Number two, 4 kids. She's got 3. There are 3 of them. and from, the wannabe favorites, and this one is going to be. I think you need to focus a little bit more on yourself rather than on the pleasure that you would have gotten from her and the order. Remember, we talked about order. This is what you're missing right now. You're not missing her. It's not about the baby. It's not about having a baby. It's about that you didn't feel it's the right time, and she didn't respect that, and she just wanted to break that off. Okay, so what? She broke it off, and if she can do it, you can do it as well. And he says, I don't understand why I didn't do it and feel I have blown it with the girl I love and doesn't want me anymore. Gee, what are you talking about? You blew it with a girl who already has 3 kids and wanted to have another one and was never a good mother, really, and constantly having the kids with the grandma and hanging on. And I'm not sure if you're really focusing on actuality of her and who she really is and how she really does live her life and her lifestyle, and instead you're not noticing that she was actually manipulating you to the point that she's not even willing to, or was willing to, listen to what it is that is right or wrong for you. She wanted something, and she wanted that thing, and if she didn't get it, and whatever it was the reason, she moved on. Okay, that kind of a woman is not a woman to expect compatibility, resolving, compromising. Obviously you became lazy because she was playing a game, very good game, always being available to you and trying to cater to you in order to bring you to the place where you would say, yeah, that's the right girl, I want to marry her. And when that didn't happen, what happened? She switched, because it wasn't genuine. I don't think if it was genuine, she would try, she would compromise, she would be flexible, she would talk, she would resolve things, she would plan things, she would work it. But no, she had an agenda. Put the kids there, stay with the guy for a few years or whatever until he is gotten used to her, and then she springs it out. She expects marriage, baby, this and that, in order to solidify her situation. Obviously, her situation was not stable. 3 kids, no husband, or maybe she was the kind that she wanted to have a family to be the way she would have liked it. So she strung you in, and she worked on you, conditioned you, got the kids there, stayed with you until you were ready. And then when she noticed after all that effort you're not willing to marry her, and that's what she wanted, and she figured, okay, I gotta now move on and not waste time and maybe find another one that I can perhaps lasso him and get him do what I want to do. So that's the kind of girl that you were facing from the things that you told me. And when you suggested that let's buy a house together, suddenly that was not good, because you were paying half of the rent and it was making life much easier for her. But yet she wasn't willing to buy a house together so you would have some equity in it. So I think you're just focusing on pleasure and how things used to be, and you miss how things used to be, and therefore you think you're missing the girl. It's not the girl you're missing. It's the way things were going that you're missing. It was convenient for you, and that's what it is. Emmanuel says, I remember when you said one time you felt a little bad for killing so many flies in your kitchen. Yeah, I don't anymore. Flies must be killed. They are not good for hygiene. So I don't feel bad. Emmanuel says, you feel bad for killing little insects? Not anymore. I do. I try not to kill them. If I see, spider or I don't know, fly or whatever. I try to throw them out, grab them somehow, some apparatus or something, and throw them out. But flies, I actually change my mind. I kill them because they're dirty. I don't know where they go. Maybe they go to everywhere, sit on everything, and you don't know what they have, and you end up eating what they sit on. No. So mosquitoes, I kill. If they don't want to go out, I open the door. They don't want to go out, I kill them. Because I don't want to get bitten, and I don't know what they carry anyhow. So I didn't invite them. So Except says, oh my goodness, I wouldn't feel bad. I absolutely hate mosquitoes. They always come zing near my ear when I'm exhausted and want to sleep. Screw them. Yeah, no mercy on them. Especially they can sting you and they could carry diseases. Who knows? Lyme disease or whatever the hell it is. It's just not fun. Donna says, okay. Excalibur says, great answer, Mehran. Keeping a job as a safety net and music on the side seems to be a great idea. Corey Bear says, helps. Thank you. You're welcome. By the way, you helped me get over my first heartbreak. Delighted to hear that, Corey. So thanks. I have balls. Okay, good for you then. Excalibur says, Mehran, you should have long hair again. It suits you so well. No, not really. I don't like that look. It looks a little bit kind of not me. I like the clean cut, I don't know, military style or the samurai style. Well, actually, samurais had long hair. That's not a good comparison. And Donna says, Prisoner Island, Australia. I see. Prisoner Island, it means Australia. I see. Things I'm learning. Chris says, I had a dream about her last night. It's funny how dreams can affect us. Yes, it does. But that dream is not because she's all that wonderful. If she was, you wouldn't have left her. You always had to remember what I told you, what I experienced and learned when I was in university from my professor, that he said at the time one makes a decision, one believes that that decision is correct. Otherwise, you wouldn't make that decision. If you're a decent person, when you make a decision based on the information available to you and how you feel, how your experiences are and what your consciousness is all about, you make a certain decision based on that information that is available to you. Now, if later on you change your mind or you see other information become available which makes you not make that decision or make a different decision, that's a different story. But at the time that you made the decision, that decision you believed it was correct. That's why you made it, based on what was known. So at the time when you made the decision not to have a baby with her, or whatever it is that you made the decision, that decision was based on the knowledge that you had then, and assessment that you had with that relationship and that woman and that whole thing, and yourself. So you can't expect to have made a different decision. Why I didn't? Because you're asking that question now because now it's not then. Then you didn't ask that question, you were sure about it, and you made that decision based on whatever it was that it was resonating in your brain. But now you're saying, well, why did I? Well, because now it's different. Your consciousness is different. Everything is different. And you're now under the pressure of, this is a price I'm willing to pay to have what I had. The order that I had, I wanted, and I'm willing to pay the price of having a baby, which at that time I was not ready to have, and I didn't want to have it. And even now, I don't want to have it, but I'm saying okay and questioning myself because I've lost something that was an order for me, something that was comfortable for me, something that, now I say I don't have it, and it seems more valuable now that I don't have it. But when I had it, it actually had the normal value, and it wasn't that hard. It was okay. But now I'm under the pressure, so I'm assuming, I have an illusion that that was a real good deal. Why? Because I don't have it. It's like, you're hungry and they give you a piece of bread and I don't know, salami, and you say, what is that? I don't want that. There are other foods available and I have the money, so why don't you give me other food that are better? But if there was nothing else and they took away and you are really hungry and suddenly you say, well, there is nothing else and they took away, that salami is good. Now you want it based on how you feel now. But when you were not that hungry, the salami actually was having its place, which wasn't really that great of a choice. But now you're willing to have it because there's nothing else available. So it's not the real reason about that salami is a good food. It's because that's what's available. And you're putting up with it. Something to that nature. I hope you get the gist of it. I'm just trying to be quick tonight because just going over what I intended to. And Donna says, Mehran, I think my problem with Mr. Weasel at work is that since I became a widow, or did you now? Oh yeah, I guess I remember something. I'm not sure. You lost your husband to some illness. Am I remembered right? At 34, since I became a widow at 34 in 2011, the Weasel was my first foray back in the dating pool, which he knew of. Ah, so you were vulnerable, hungry, just to see if you still got it, and so many things at work to make you feel as if he's the right guy or a nice guy or this and that, so forth. It wasn't that because he was really great, it was because that you were really hungry. You were really desiring some kind of relationship, to wanted to get back in the water and see how good you are in your ability to, feel you still got it. And that happens. That happens with every one of us. When you're away from the dating scene and you miss that whole romance and care and attention and partnership, and the first girl that comes along that seems like nice, you kind of feel, well, that's great. What else do I want? And in your case, you saw this guy and say, oh, it's great. There's some attributes about the guy and you liked it and so on. But it's neither here nor there. But good that you understand that yourself. And he says, you're right. He was a can't understand normal thinker. Excalibur says, Mehran, with long hair, mafia boss, the Godfather. Yeah, I know. I did have a little bit long hair, and at one point I hadn't gone to the barber for a long time, and so for fun, I sometimes I goof off. I just tied a elastic band around it, and it had a little kind of a ponytail there. And then I put a cigar on my mouth, and I took a picture, and it looked quite funny. My son and I were laughing our heads off. I mean, but actually, it did look kind of distinguished, I must say. Keith Waller says, United Kingdom. Hello, Keith. Says, I'm 53, from UK. I've been separated from my partner for 6 months. I'm a male, and I'm finding it really hard to move on. I seem to have any motivation. You mean no motivation? Huh? Well, that is because you haven't focused on your partner as she is, and you simply are focusing on how she used to be rather than how she was at the end of the relationship when you guys broke up. And so naturally, you're not focusing on the actuality of the situation, the relationship, and the partner. You're focusing on how the relationship was at one point when it was a good relationship, or at least seemed okay and satisfactory. So change that image from then to now. Focus on how that person treats you now and treated you now, and what happened that you guys broke up, and then that will help you to see her as she is, not focusing on as she used to be, and not focusing on how your order of life, the routine of your life was, which is what you're really missing. Not her, but the routine. And you're thinking it's her that you're missing, but in fact it's the order of things, how it used to be, that you haven't moved on from. So create a new mechanical processes, meaning create new things that you will do at your single life. I don't know if it's a gym that you like, if it's outings that you like, socializing is a kind, or the things that you like to do. And through doing those new things, you create a new order. And when you get used to the new order, you will forget the old order. And in the new order, your mind, which finds security in the order of things, will find order, and your mind will settle down, and you will not be going here and there and unfocused and then thinking, oh, then I need her because she would bring the order. But she wasn't. The relationship was. And if it was a good one, you wouldn't have broken it off. So focus on why you broke it off. Focus on the fact that the order is broken, and that's what you're missing. And focus on building a new order through your personal life, and then your mind will settle and find security in the new order that you've created. Then you will not miss the order, therefore you will not miss her. And you will be on to bigger and better things, and focusing on to creating a new life and situation, relationship for yourself. Excalibur says, I would have loved to see a Mehran ponytail with a cigar. Yeah, well, I might have the picture. I might put it up just for fun, but I don't know how to do it, but I would learn it maybe. Sherry says, hi, nice to see you, female 33 Sri Lanka. Hello, Sherry. Good to see you, dear. I mean, good to see your writing here. I wish I could see you guys here. Donna says, no, a work accident. Brett was a roof plumber. And he slipped. Whilst putting up the safety rails. Shit. For the apprentices. Sorry to hear that. Shit. Sorry to hear that. Well, Excalibur says, of course, don't forget to say Excalibur says, of course, don't forget to say hello to Mama Dadbeh. Okay, I won't. Are you leaving? I sure will. Actually, you're good that you reminded me, because I had forgotten. I had forgotten again. Okay, guys. Looks like we hit all the questions at the moment, and there are no more. And it's been 1 hour and 46 minutes. It's 1:08. I think it's time for me to watch that episode before I sleep and have a tea and just chill. Excalibur says, great session, good to see everyone, and great to see you again, dear. Thank you very much, Excalibur. Good of you to be here and participate. It's always wonderful to have you all around. We only had 6 or 7 people here tonight, but we did manage to have 1 hour and 47 minutes of talk, which could be something. I wonder if I can find some trimmings in there could be helpful to anyone. So I guess hopefully I might be able to have another live talk tomorrow at 12 noon Vancouver time, and I hope maybe you guys can make it to have a short visit at least. In the meantime, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here. Give me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.